Hey guys, how's it going? So now we're on Jeremiah 13. And the reason why you're watching this later than what I have been posting them, I usually post them at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, is because I wanted to post a different video addressing the Mark of the Beast issue again. Because it was brought to my attention that somebody in particular has been preaching that, and he's actually a neighbor. He lives on the other side of 35 from where I live. And he's preaching that the shot is the mark, and it's not. The Bible doesn't say it is, but I wanted to get that video out because I'm going to fight this battle to the bitter end to try to make sure people aren't getting themselves into a situation where they're being condemned when the Bible doesn't condemn any believer. So if you watch that video and you're watching this now, that's why this video is later. But now we're going to start getting into the this is basically chapter 13 is the transition into the really heavy stuff that the Lord starts putting down. And he makes some points to Jeremiah here and helps Jeremiah see a few things. Jeremiah 13. Thus the Lord said to me, go and get yourself a linen sash and put it around your waist, but do not put it in water. So I got a sash according to the word of the Lord and put it around my waist. And the word of the Lord came to me a second time, saying, take the sash that you acquired, which is around your waist, and arise, go to the Euphrates and hide it there in a hole in the rock. So I went and hid it by the Euphrates as the Lord commanded me. Now this doesn't seem like it makes any sense, but he's trying to show something to Jeremiah. And this is actually a lesson for all of us. Verse 6, now it came to pass, after many days, that the Lord said to me, arise, go to the Euphrates, and take from there the sash which I commanded you hid there. Then I went to the Euphrates, and dug, and took the sash from the place where I had hidden it. And there was the sash, ruined. It was profitable for nothing. Now I want to stop there for a minute, because there is another lesson hidden here. Notice he said, now it came to pass after many days. Well, many days can be anywhere from a week to a month. Jeremiah had to wait to hear from the Lord. I imagine the Lord probably didn't say nothing to him until that time. So he had to wait on the Lord. So this is another lesson of waiting on the Lord. Little hidden ones in here that we pay attention to because the key is in the wording. He says it was many days, and then he said, hey, go down there and get this sash. So this is a lesson for all of us about waiting on the Lord. It may take him a while to respond because the timing isn't right, because certain things aren't in place. So he dug it up. It was profitable for nothing. Verse 8, then the word of the Lord came to me, saying, thus says the Lord, in this manner I will ruin the pride of Judah and the great pride of Jerusalem. In what manner? See, when you see a phrase like in this manner or in this way or something like that, that's talking about a specific thing, you have to find out what that specific thing is. And how do you do that? You go back up 5 verses and read the context. This is why I tell everybody, when you read the Bible, somebody gives you a verse, read 5 verses above and 5 verses below. It gives you the context. We're about to read the 5 below, but we'll go back up and read the first ones again. In this manner I will ruin the pride of Judah and Jerusalem. How? He's going to take the linen sash from them. He's going to take, because the linen is, it's referred to as righteousness. If you go to Revelation chapter 19, and Jesus he has a special robe he's using, but the saints that are coming back with him are clothed in fine linen. Fine linen is the righteous acts of the saints, is what it says in that chapter. This has always been the reference in the Bible, that the linen is righteousness. So he's going to take their righteousness from them, and it's going to get ruined. He's going to take their righteousness from it, that sash. He's going to hide it from them. It's going to get ruined. He's going to break their pride. Verse 10, this evil people who refuse to hear my words, who follow the dictates of their hearts and walk after other gods to serve them and worship them, shall be just like this sash, which is profitable for nothing. He's going to take what they have, their gift, their righteousness, he's going to ruin it. He's going to make it profitable for nothing. That what they think they have, he's going to take. No, I'm taking it away. You guys, look what you're doing, and you won't listen. You won't even listen to my guy that I'm sending to talk to you. So this is what I'm going to do. So he's making Jeremiah understand. Verse 11, for as the sash clings to the waist of a man, so I have caused the whole house of Israel and the whole house of Judah to cling to me. He's explaining the referencing. Says the Lord, that they may become my people for renown, for praise, and for glory, but they would not hear. Now, some people out there, not many, but some people out there, take these to mean he's cast Israel away and the church has replaced Israel. No, that has not happened. It's like, look, I had you guys right here. I was holding on to y'all, and you keep pulling away. I'm going to show you what happens when you get pulled away. While the sash stayed on Jeremiah's waist, it stayed clean and everything was fine. When it went away, when it went to another place, it got ruined. It got dirty and it got filthy and it got ruined. It was no good for nothing. If you know anything about linen, once it's stained, it's stained. You can't clean it. So he's trying to show him, look, this is as long as you were with me, as long as I had you tied around my waist, you were fine. You keep going. You keep falling off. You keep doing this. Now you're going to get lost. Now you're going to get ruined. I'm going to break your pride. The jar is filled with wine. Jeremiah 13:12. Therefore you shall speak to them this word. Thus says the Lord, God of Israel, every bottle shall be filled with wine. And they will say to you, do we not certainly know that every bottle will be filled with wine? Then you shall say to them, thus says the Lord, behold, I will fill all the inhabitants of this land, even the kings who sit on David's throne, the priests, the prophets, and all the inhabitants of Jerusalem with drunkenness. And I will dash them one against another, even the fathers and the sons together, says the Lord. I will not pity nor spare nor have mercy, but will destroy them. You see, now we're getting in, first the Lord is mourning. All these first chapters have started that the Lord is mourning. He's declaring his mourning for what's being done. Now he's transitioning in this chapter into what he's going to do. He's going to start convicting them. Heavy conviction. Exposing their lies and exposing their sins to them. To get them to see the light. But look at what he's telling me. He goes, I'm not going to have any pity. I'm not going to spare you. These are his chosen people. I want you to keep something in mind here. Jeremiah is a great example of, if God's people do that to him and he does that back to them, what about the rest of us? We should pay more attention. Very much attention. He's using Israel as an example to everyone all across history. Look at what my people did, and I didn't spare them. I won't spare you either. Don't think you're special. It's a humbling thing. Break that pride. Verse 15. Hear and give ear. Do not be proud, for the Lord has spoken. That's a perfect statement all by itself. Do not be proud. Don't think you're better. See, they thought they were the best on the earth. They thought they were better than everyone else. They looked down on everybody. The Talmud states that when the Messiah comes, that's not the real Messiah, it's the wrong one. When the Messiah comes, he's going to overthrow the earth, give all rule to the Jews, and every Jew will have 26,000 Gentile slaves. That's what the Talmud says. We know that's not biblical. But that's what they believe. That's what they believe. See, they believed that back when Jesus came. That's why they didn't want to accept him as Messiah. He wasn't the Messiah they were looking for. So they killed him. They knew who he was. He even told them the parable. I'll send my son. They killed the son. And it says in there, they knew he was referring to them. They knew who he was. They were very aware of who he was. They didn't want him. And we know that this is a very old mentality because Jeremiah is talking about it. Hear and give ear. Do not be proud, for the Lord has spoken. And that's an application for all of us. We never ever think we're better than what we are. I don't care what title you have. I don't care what thing. There was a guy. There's a bunch of people still out there. More and more, it seems like, calling themselves apostles, calling themselves prophets. Don't think you're more than what you are. That's pride. If he didn't come to you and say, hey, this is what I'm designating you as, and this is what I want you to do, and you're not going to be getting, and there's people that say that, but you're not going to be given something that contradicts his word, which is what most of them do. Verse 16, give glory to the Lord your God before he causes darkness, and before your feet stumble on the dark mountains. And while you were looking for light, he turns it into a shadow of death and makes it dense darkness. Verse 17, but if you will not hear it, my soul will weep in secret for your pride. My eyes will weep bitterly and run down with tears because the Lord's flock has been taken captive. It does not make God happy to do this. But he can't bear sin. People complain and want to blame God. Oh, why is God going to use a eternal punishment for a temporal sin? He can't endure it. The temporal sin isn't the problem. It's the fact that you're doing the temporal sin against a holy, eternal God. That's the problem. Verse 18, say to the king and to the queen mother, humble yourselves, sit down, for your rule shall collapse, the crown of your glory. The cities of the south shall be shut up, and no one shall open them. Judah shall be carried away captive, all of it. It shall be wholly carried away captive. Lift up your eyes and see to those who come from the north. Where is the flock that was given you, your beautiful sheep? What will you say when he punishes you? For you have taught them to be chieftains, to be head over you. Will not pangs seize you like a woman in labor? Interesting terminology. Verse 22, and if you say in your heart, why have these things come upon me? For the greatness of your iniquity, your skirts have been uncovered, your heels made bare. Now that's an analogy for something insulting. Like in Islam, when I was in Iraq, if you waved to somebody, you waved it with your left hand. You waved with your right hand. If you wave with your left hand, the left hand is unclean. It was an insult. You also, if you were going down the road in a convoy and kids were doing cartwheels, they were basically giving you their version of the middle finger, because the bottom of the feet are an insult to show the bottom of the feet. You know how we sit with our legs and a foot up there? That's an insult. Showing the bottom of the shoe or the feet is an insult. So that was the way their culture was. The culture back then, that's what this analogy is. Verse 23, can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard its spots? Then may you also do good who are accustomed to do evil. Listen to what he says again. Jeremiah 13:23. Can the Ethiopian change his skin? Ethiopians are black. Can they change to white? No. Or the leopard its spots. Can a leopard change its spots? No. Then may you also do good who are accustomed to do evil. Is it possible? For some people it isn't. Verse 24, therefore I will scatter them like stubble that passes away by the wind of the wilderness. This is your lot, the portion of your measures from me, says the Lord, because you have forgotten me and trusted in falsehood. This is a connection to the last video I did earlier. Because you trusted in falsehood and didn't listen to God. Therefore, I will uncover your skirts over your face, that your shame may appear. I have seen your adulteries and your lustful nayings, the lewdness of your harlotry, your abominations on the hills in the fields. Woe to you, O Jerusalem! Will you still not be made clean? See, this wasn't an issue of God not wanting to clean them, not wanting to cleanse them, not wanting to purify them. It's they didn't want it. We have people today doing the same thing. It's not that God's not trying to do that to them. They don't want to be clean. They don't want to be saved. They don't want to have their sins forgiven. They hang on to their sins. They hang on to their deceptions. They hang on to their lies. They want those things. They desire those things. They want that more than truth. See, with truth comes pain. With lies comes pleasure. Lies and deceit, all good things come with that. With truth comes pain. The thing is, with truth also comes life. None of those other things have life attached to them. I'll take a little pain and catch some life versus the other way around. But this is the problem that God was having. He couldn't change them. They wouldn't hear him. Can you imagine being Jeremiah, and you're standing there, and everybody's listening, and you're between them and God, and all that hatred that they're spewing out is aimed right at you because you're the one speaking, and you're repeating what God's saying. Can you imagine what that feels like? Those of us that do what we do here, that push forward, we know, because we're those intermediaries too. Sound the alarm, sound the alarm. Somebody tell that guard to shut up. Oh, we got sacked. And you know what happens? That guard sounds the alarm and is ordered to be silent, and then the sword comes, and then everybody goes and blames the guard. And that's what we have happening now. That's what was happening back then. You guys think you have it figured out. I'm showing you a better way. You refuse the better way. Now I'm sending somebody to warn you, and you're telling them to be quiet. And then when I punish you, what do? You go, you attack my messenger instead of coming to me. Your problem isn't with him, it's with me. See, they put Jeremiah to death after all this. He didn't do anything wrong. He just relayed the message. But they killed him. It's a terrible state to be in. And in this day and age, we're that way. We'd rather destroy the messenger than go to God and ask why. If the people would go to God and say, God, why did you send this person to say this? What am I missing? But nope, they go and they attack the messenger. Because they can see that person. They can put their hands on that person. Because they want blood. They know they can't touch God. But they still have the desire. God is no slouch, and he will not be mocked. And he does not let his people do whatever they want to do. He corrects these things. And what we're about to see here is a long list of chapters of him correcting these things. And your eyes are going to be open at some of the things you hear. And a lot of this stuff is going to sound very familiar. And that all starts in chapter 14. It all starts in chapter 14. All right, guys. That was Jeremiah 13. Tomorrow we'll start chapter 14, and that's probably going to start a whole new flavor of this book. See you guys in the next one.